I finally got my hands on it, folks. This is the new Play for Dream Micro-OLED wireless mixed reality headset, and in this video I'm going to give you my first impressions, particularly from a flight simmer's perspective. So join me and Monty after a quick word from VRWave, because they offer a tailor-made solution to your lens inserts, and they cover a wide selection of VR headsets such as the Quest series, Pimax, PSVR 2, HTC, Pico, and soon the Pimax Super as well. Now, even if you don't wear glasses, it's important to protect your lenses, and of course if you do wear glasses, then it makes it all day comfortable. You can have blue light filter, and they also account for astigmatism, nearsighted and farsightedness. So check out my 5% discount in the notes below. So better late than never. This is the Play for Dream MR headset, and it boasts a very impressive specification sheet, and in this video I'm going to give you my unboxing and the first impressions using Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 in virtual desktop. And at the time of this recording, I don't even know how I'm going to get on with it because it's going to be on camera for the first time. So let's just unbox this new VR headset, and there's no doubt about it that it is pretty mind-blowing in terms of the quality. This is right up there with the Apple Vision Pro. It looks like an Apple Vision Pro, to be honest, but it's a Android based system, and you can use it for wireless PCVR, as I say, with virtual desktop. So these are the nifty controllers, which, while they do feel a little bit less quality than the headset itself, they are very nice in the hands, and I've got quite large hands, although we're not really going to be using them today much in this video since we are going to be flying. And of course you've got the usual gubbins here with the charger. I've noticed how this is a European plug, so just be aware of that, people in the UK. You can get an adapter, and you have a nice cable that goes straight into that one plug, which charges the headset and the controllers. But the build quality of the device, as you'll see in a moment, is absolutely first class. I'm so impressed with this. You also get a nice little cable clip as well. Nice little touch. Now it's time for the main event, the headset itself. And it does look absolutely beautiful. I love how we've also got a nice cover for that very delicate looking screen, I must say. This is a headset that you do not want to drop, okay? Just please be careful with it, for goodness sake. But that's not to say it isn't well made. It really is. The materials feel absolutely first class, and you definitely have that wow moment when you open it up for the first time. Although there is some issues, some big issues for me actually, and that involves the facial interface and the strap, which I'll get to very soon. But first, let's just appreciate taking off that protective cover and showing off the front of this headset, which does look really very nice. You can even see me, my silly face, and my camera trying to record this. And there you have all of the cameras, because this thing has eye tracking, hand tracking for gesture control, dynamic foveated rendering built in. You've got high quality pass-through, and of course, because this is a standalone device, you can get rid of those base stations as well. So it's all looking and sounding pretty damn good so far, but keep with me, because unfortunately there are some problems, and that is the facial interface. It is possibly the worst facial interface I've ever used on a VR headset. I can't believe, I just don't understand even why they've chosen this path with this rigid strap design that you can't move down to the back of your head to support the headset. Which means that when you put the headset on, the facial interface is so far away from the bottom of my face personally that you just can't even get close to the lenses. Thankfully there is a smaller facial interface, which has helped a little bit. I'll talk about this more in my actual flying segment of this video. But be aware that out of the box, the facial interface is very disappointing indeed. Anyway, let's move on now, because this headset has a big trick up its sleeve. And it's something that is quite mind-blowing for a standalone headset, because this has custom pancake lenses paired with a 4K Micro-OLED display. The same, in fact, that you will find in my beloved Megan X, which is currently my favourite daily driver VR headset. The resolution is 3840 by 3552, and Well, you can use 90 Hz and 72 Hz, I believe. Mostly at 72 Hz, which actually feels quite comfortable in this headset, interestingly, using Virtual Desktop. The result? Well, actually, I don't know yet because I haven't tried it. That's the next part of this video, which you'll see my first reactions in a moment's time. But I am expecting phenomenal visuals here, which is quite exciting, especially for a headset that has great form factor, although the comfort right now is a problem, and you can use it with Virtual Desktop, which means you have access to VDXR and the mixed reality capabilities, which means you probably can even mask your own cockpit and do that kind of thing. But this is everything you get in the box, and as an unboxing experience goes, which I know doesn't really matter that much, but it is that first impression, it's very, very good indeed. The quality of all the materials, apart from, say, the controllers, which feel a little bit plasticky, but not too bad, but the headset itself feels really, really premium, and I was not expecting that. We'll also get to the price in the moment as well, because Monty is very interested in the price, and I said I will tell him at the end of the video. So, that's this headset. It is a very high-end mixed reality standalone Micro-OLED MR headset with hand tracking, eye tracking, mixed reality, inside-out tracking, the whole 9 yards. But what is it like in a flight sim? This channel's focus. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, because for the next part of this video, we're going to try it out for the first time together. Right then, here we go. This is it. And wow, actually I've got finger tracking straight away, which is great. Let me just put this headset on because I'm using my headphones simply because I am aware the microphone on the Play for Dream isn't very good, and I'm not going to risk it for this first impressions. So here we are. We are in the sim using Virtual Desktop in monster mode. And you might notice I've got a cable attached to this. That's because immediately I noticed as I was setting it up ready to go that it went from 100% to 93% in the space of a few minutes. I thought, holy crap, that's not going to be enough time. So I'm trying this AMVR cable, which hopefully should keep it charged up, or at least slow the rate of charge. So this is it. I'm walking around here using Virtual Desktop with a 4K Micro-OLED wireless VR headset with mixed reality capability, eye tracking, hand tracking, the whole works, and inside-out tracking, which seems to be working really well. First things, my first impressions are the colours are absolutely beautiful in this. Really, really nice, as I should expect, really, being Micro-OLED. That sky, the blue, it really comes out at you, and then you've got the green of the trees, that yellow of this beautiful Piper Tomahawk. In fact, that's actually a really good test. Did that on purpose, honest. But the yellow, the green, and the blue looks phenomenal. However, there's a few things I had to change, because the first time I switched this on, I just thought, holy crap, there's loads of chromatic aberration. That looks terrible. But thankfully, there is an option in the software to enable a fix for that, which I don't understand why that's not just on all the time, because it made a massive difference. Also, when using the UI system on the headset itself, you can go into 4K mode. I think it's 72 Hz. That makes a big difference. It really does. Now, at the moment, I am running native resolution using monster mode. That is a new mode that is even higher than godlike, although I would not recommend it unless you have a 5090, which we are rocking today, to give this the best possible chance of showing its stuff. But this is actually looking, well, let me be clear here, this is the best PCVR visuals I've seen from a wireless headset. This is the same panels as the Megan X. Now, I did just try the Megan X, and I did a circuit just out of curiosity to see how it compares, and make no mistake, the fact that this does not have a DisplayPort connection means it doesn't look as sharp as the Megan X. It doesn't have that real pin sharp feel to it. But with Virtual Desktop, it's getting reasonably close. The great thing about Virtual Desktop is the lack of compression and just the performance we're getting here, which is incredible. We're getting, yeah, 45 frames per second. And I think I've locked that actually in SteamVR from another headset. So that means we probably could get even more than that with monster mode. That is crazy. That is absolutely crazy. Now, field of view, I will test that as well. Maybe in this video. Well, I will in this video, but I might not. I might just give you the numbers now or later. So if I haven't already, then stay tuned for that at the end. But the field of view figures, it feels pretty good actually. I mean, not amazing. The binocular overlap is fine in this, although it's not as good as the Mega Nex. It's perfectly fine for me. Just the feel of the lenses on the eyes and just focusing feels fantastic as well. Feels really good. Oh, just the colours. Oh, that's a decathlon over there. Look at that. I haven't seen one of them for a few years. But yeah, just the colours. This is very beautiful. I mean, this is basically a Quest 3 on steroids, really. Imagine a Quest 3 running virtual desktop, but with a 4K micro OLED panel. Imagine that, and yeah, that's kind of what it feels like, really. Although I do feel that it does suffer without having a DisplayPort connection. But bearing in mind, I'm not really maxing this out in terms of my router. I'm using a Wi-Fi 6 router. If I had Wi-Fi 7, no doubt this would look way better. So take that with a pinch of salt, really, because in fact, I am tempted now to upgrade my router and maybe see what this is like with a really good network. Maybe put it on its own network setting as well, just to make sure I'm getting the best out of this, because I don't think I am getting the best out of this, even with it on monster mode, because you have to make sure your network is running okay. In terms of the lenses, this is a weird one, folks, because when I first started the headset, there is the Play for Dream logo, okay, and it's on basically a complete black background, and it's like a ring, and I was absolutely horrified with the... Oh, hang on a minute, sorry guys, I pressed something and gone into switch back to VR. It's picking up. It's picking up my hands. That's a bit annoying. Sorry folks, not sure if that showed on the recording, but I was horrified with the glare. The glare was just like really bad, like loads of rings starting from, I want to use my hands but I can't, but basically rings that kind of go bigger and bigger, and the glare was just like really bad. So I was like, this is not good. I'm not going to like this. But then when I'm actually in the flight sim, it's not an issue anymore. I'm not having any issue with glare at all. Now obviously this is a daylight scene, so let's just try. I'm going to do this straight away if it lets me. I'm having a bit of an issue here because it's picking up my hands. Let's just try this. Yeah, it's picking up my hands. Oh, hang on. I might have to disable this in a minute. This is the first impressions, folks. This is what you get. Just going to put the lights on and switch it to night time. What does that look? Oh, yeah, that looks nice. That looks really nice. And I've gone back again into... Let me just put that back again. Right, folks, I'm back again. I had to cut it there because the hand tracking actually ended up just causing so many issues because it kept picking my hands up, which is kind of what it should do. I've now reverted back to a controller, and yeah, everything's all well again. So I'm just looking at this scene here at night time, and again, there's no glare, which I don't understand. Like, look at this scene here. I've got this truck thing. In fact, no, it's a pushback cart thing with a massive light staring at me, as well as this cockpit gauge. Haptic feedback of these controllers feel good. And I'm not getting any glare. I am, though, getting a weird sort of grid outline, though. What's that about? That's weird. When it's completely dark, I'm getting like a weird grid. Is that virtual desktop? That's probably something to do with virtual desktop. Bear in mind that what I'm running at the moment is like an alpha version or a beta version of virtual desktop monster mode, so there could be some issue there. I think that's maybe artifacting actually, but if I just ignore that and look at the black levels, yeah, they're absolutely, you know, micro OLED, what else can I say? They just look fantastic, pure blacks, everything's fantastic. The brightness of that panel is really coming out of me as well. We'll try that a bit later as we fly, but might as well just continue using the controllers now. Let's go back. Oh wow, yeah, it feels bright now. Real time, live weather. Okay, right, anyway, with that being said, let's now go for a flight. I'll explain more about my first impressions with the Play for Dream. I might hold it sometimes like that just to try and keep it more central as I'm talking. Obviously, all the wobbling you probably see on the recording is not in the headset, just because of the recording process. Because I want to talk about the lenses a lot more, and I want to talk about the comfort, because that is a bit of an issue for me as well. So let's just get this fired up. This is the Just Flight Tomahawk. Okay, we're on the left tank, mixture fully rich, throttle fully forward. It's very warm today. I'm not going to bother with priming the system. We'll put the fuel pump on and let's go. Wow. Okay. Nice. Well, I'm going to do a sound check now, folks. Make sure that you can hear me okay. And then we'll get cracking. See you in a minute. Right then, folks, we're back and let's go flying. So first of all, we'll just make sure that it's a bit quieter in the cabin here. We'll shut all the doors and latches. God, this is so interesting, experiencing this, having been in the Meganex recently and even the Pimax Crystal Super. There's so many different headsets now out there, it's crazy. So at the moment, as I say, we're full resolution. I'm recording, and yeah, we've just dropped about 43 frames per second at the moment. But the colours really are very nice in this. I've just noticed as well that with this AMVR facial interface, we are getting super battery life as well. I'm back up to 100%. So this will keep it completely charged. So if you are looking for something that keeps your Quest 3, or if you happen to have a Play for Dream headset, you know, fully charged during a sim session, I know it's a bit annoying having a wire, but then you get the best of both worlds with virtual desktop, but you also get solid battery life. Another quick audio test, folks, because I realised I was using the speakers of the Play for Dream, which I'll also talk about. So I'm just going to check this, make sure this sounds okay. This is all parts of the first impressions, folks. Unfortunately, I have to check these things on camera, because obviously if I check them before recording, then that's my first impressions right there, isn't it? And then you won't get my reaction. Right, anyway, let's go flying, finally. Right, now let's talk about the comfort, which is a major flaw in this headset in my opinion, and it's all thanks to the facial interface, which at the top, in my opinion, is far too thick. And that means you kind of have to put it on with the strap too far you know, high on the back of your head. Weirdly though, with headphones it makes it more comfortable. I think it's because it's putting a bit more pressure on the headset to stay where it is. But in any case, the facial interface is a disaster. To be honest, it's not good at all, and that needs to be changed. And I do believe that Play for Dream are in the process of making a new facial interface, so I'm going to have to badger them about that so they can send me one. But yeah, the facial interface that comes with it is, it's just not good at all, which is a shame, because actually if you look past that, the headset is very comfortable in the sense that it's very light, very well balanced. I think it's 650 grams. It just feels incredibly light. It's just that facial interface that causes a problem. And I reckon I'd be able to get a lot closer to these lenses and probably get, at a guess, 108, 109 degrees or something like that. Apart from that though, which in my opinion is a problem, a big problem, in terms of the visuals, the performance, this, in some ways, to some people, this will be a dream come true, because this is 4K Micro-OLED, but in a really nice form factor with inside-out tracking, mixed reality, hand tracking, eye tracking, and you can use virtual desktop, and you can use it wirelessly. I mean, this is one way of solving the battery issue. You can do it other ways. I think you can get a Bobo mod, so you can put the batteries on the back. So there will be, you know, ways to fix that in the future. Look at the visuals here. This is absolutely beautiful. But when it's all said and done, moaning about the comfort, moaning about the battery, when I'm looking at that right now, oh, yeah, that is absolutely stunning. I could almost forget that this is a wireless VR headset without a DisplayPort connection. Holy shit, this is incredible. Now this is all in part thanks to Guy for jumping on board and allowing virtual desktop to become a thing on this platform, and it's a welcome addition. So let's now talk about the lenses a bit more, because they aren't that brilliant really. I mean, they're not terrible, but again, they do leave a lot to be desired. The sweet spot, oh, Melissa's just sneezed. Bless you. The sweet spot is quite, well, it's not like tiny, I don't think, but it's not, you know, really great either. I think it's sort of in between, a bit like maybe a Pico 4, maybe slightly worse than that, but that sort of level, but far better than, say, Fresnel lenses. Do you know what I mean? Far better than that. It's still a really nice place to be, but you do have to just dial in your eyes a little bit, get into that sweet spot, and then you're fine. The edge-to-edge clarity, whilst in the sweet spot, is okay. It's not stellar, but I could work with that. I don't have a problem with that, to be honest. It's not too bad. I think you'll get used to it very quickly. As I say, it's far better than Fresnel lenses by a long way. I do think, though, some of that is down to this facial interface. If I could get closer to these lenses, I reckon the sweet spot would be a lot better. In terms of warping, you know, to be fair, the warping on this isn't as bad as the Megan X. Definitely not. But there is warping just on the edges. But funny enough, because the edges are quite blurry anyway, it's not too bad. Vertically, let's have a look here. And let me just do this a minute, folks. Look at that. Wow, amazing visuals here. That's a beautiful canyon. Okay. So the vertical sweet spot is far better than the Megan X. It's fine. It's just the horizontal on the far outer edges that there's a little bit of warping. So again, that's not a problem for me. That's fine. That's within tolerances, shall we say. Anyway, let's do some flying here. Fuel pump on. And we'll change to the right tank. Fuel pressure, fuel temperature, all in the green. Fuel pump off. We'll keep the landing light on. We don't need the pitot heat on today. Yeah, beautiful. Right, in terms of chromatic aberration, it's funny that it was awful when I first started the headset, but when I switched that button on, there's an option in the menu. It's absolutely fine now. Play for Dream, if you are watching this, please just keep that option on all the time. Look at the visuals here. Beautiful scenery, absolutely gorgeous. Have to be very careful though with the turbulence and the downdrafts. What we'll do is we'll do a 360 in this opening here. Oh wow, I'm getting a really strong downdraft. I love how mountain flying in MSFS 2024 is extremely realistic. Now before I forget, folks, just to let you know that Play for Dream did send me this headset. Okay, I did not buy it myself. But as you know from this channel, that makes no difference to my opinion. And the great thing is I'll be able to show this headset for the foreseeable future. You know, like my other VR headsets, this will now join my fleet, and I will showcase using it in different scenarios. In fact, yeah, please let me know in the comments below, what would you like to see with the Play for Dream? I will be doing a full flight video in the black square Starship next, because I think a long session of at least a couple of hours will be really interesting to do. But would you like to see other things like, I don't know, DCS World, Elite Dangerous maybe, with the Micro-OLED blacks? I think that would be quite cool. Gotta say, I think the brightness in this is very nice. Very, very nice. But then, so is the Megan X, really. It does remind me very much of the Megan X, just not quite as sharp, you know? And that is down to the lack of DisplayPort connection, really. But this has many other things. Many other advantages. First of all, I mean, in terms of the price, I'm not entirely sure if it's probably around the same kind of ballpark as the Megan X. It might be a bit cheaper. I think it's around £1,500, but then you've got possibly import duty tax, VAT on top of that. I'm not quite sure. I'll put on the screen now how much it is. But in any case, if you don't mind that lack of DisplayPort connection, this is a much better value for money option than the Megan X, because this can do so many things. Because this headset can be used for productivity, gaming, because you've got controllers with it, as well as high-end flight simulation and PCVR gaming. And of course, it's got its own library as well, which I don't think's that great. But in fact, what I'll do is now just show you some UI footage, because the experience, the standalone UI, is very, very slick. It's very Apple Vision Pro-esque, and yeah, I just love it how you can use gesture control, you can use your eyes, your hands. It's a very clean experience. It just makes the Quest 3 look incredibly old-fashioned, as does the design of this headset, really. It just, yeah, this feels like a premium experience, apart from, as I say, that facial interface, which is a shame, but I hope they can sort that out at some point in the future. I do like how everything's magnetic in terms of the foam itself and the interface. I like how it's like a brushed aluminium on the casing of the headset itself. It feels like a proper piece of gear. You know what I mean? Like a proper VR headset that's very desirable to own. I think that's the best way I can describe it. Right, let's now head back to the airfield. And yeah, in conclusion, there's a few, at least one, maybe two major problems for me. Is the facial interface, which I've harped on about now a lot, so I won't say it again. Also, in terms of the battery life, it's pretty bad. But it's amazing, really, in that they can get 4K Micro OLED in a standalone headset to begin with. I think that's very brave of them, and I applaud them for going all out with the highest, best PCVR and standalone visuals you'll get anywhere. Because make no mistake, the Megan X, these BOE 4K Micro OLED displays are the best visuals I've ever seen in a VR headset, period. Okay, so it stands to reason then that this is the best visuals I've seen in a wireless headset. Absolutely. In terms of the lenses, there is glare. The glare, weirdly, in a flight sim like this right now, is fine. And what I'll do is, one more time, just put the lights down. I hate how you get that stutter still when you open the menu. Let's completely put the lights fully down. God, that just looks incredible every time, folks. When I see Micro OLED at night, it's a magical experience. It's so good. In terms of glare, I don't know why I'm not seeing any. I think it must be this scenario, because there is glare in this headset, but I'm not seeing it at the moment, which I think is really funny. I am getting a grid outline though. That's spoiling it a bit for me. I don't know what that is, but I'm getting like a grid pattern. But I'm thinking that could be some sort of bug with Virtual Desktop. I'm not quite sure. Oh, that feels bright. That feels very bright. Okie dokie. Yeah, so overall, do I recommend this headset? Well, it depends. If you're looking for a headset that will do it all, high-end PCVR with Micro-OLED 4K, inside-out tracking, you don't need base stations with this. It has eye tracking, mixed reality. And by the way, I haven't really mentioned the pass-through, but it's really, really good. You've got two options, a slightly higher latency but higher quality, which I prefer, which I can read my phone no problems. It's very, very high quality pass-through. Excellent, in fact. I am impressed. And you also have, like I say, all the other stuff. So it can do loads of things. You can do gaming, you can do productivity and flight simulation. I guess the main question for me is, can they sort out the facial interface? That's the one major problem, the major flaw for me. And if you don't mind wireless, if you prefer it, or I say wireless, I know I've got a lead on, but you can do it a different way than this. To be fair, it's not like I can feel this lead. It's very, very, very light. But if you don't mind sacrificing a bit of visual clarity for the fact that you have virtual desktop, then this might be for you. This actually might be for you. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to spending more time with this, because this could be the surprise headset, the sort of underdog of 2025. Because there's something about the way it feels, it looks. They've really gone all out. I mean, I think it's personally extremely good value for money. There's going to be people moaning in the comments right now, typing away, you know, saying it's too expensive. But this is 4K Micro OLED, extremely high resolution, and you're getting all the sensors in it. As I said, eye tracking, hand tracking, mixed reality. That comes at a cost, folks. And it still probably weighs in cheaper than the Meganex, especially when you consider you don't need base stations. But unfortunately, as I say, it's not perfect. The battery life, the comforts with the facial interface, which thankfully can be sold, hopefully, and the lenses are subpar, but they're not like unusable or anything like that. I think they're fine, but don't expect them to be like Quest 3 lenses. They're far better than this. Ooh, bit of a pocket there just as I was coming to land. Bit of rudder there to counteract that crosswind. And we're down. Anyway, folks, I'm sure I've missed a ton of things in this first impressions. So let me know in the comments below, what would you like to see? I do have an affiliate link in the description below if you'd like to support the channel. And as you've probably noticed, I have been going crazy with content recently. And it's bloody hard work, folks. It really is. I'm going to have to slow down soon. There's no doubt about it. I'm going to have to slow down. But if you would like to support the channel, please do feel free to use that affiliate link. As I've said many times before, using affiliate links, there's nothing shady going on, folks. I will still give you everything. All of the good and the bad. It makes no difference to my opinion at all. Right, I'm off to the clubhouse for a cup of coffee. Thanks for watching. I'll see you again very soon. Bye-bye for now.